Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for part 5 of the Monday Q&A. The final part, and it's good because I'm tired of talking. It's been a long day. And yeah, this is Sunday night. I'm recording these for tomorrow. All right, first question. What are the health risks associated with long-term use of 200 milligrams of caffeine and 20 milligrams of ephedrine twice daily, and how can these risks be mitigated? You know, the caffeine may not be as big of a deal if you built up a tolerance, but let me just put this to you bluntly. I'm someone who said that I don't think the health risks are very big of using moderate amounts of injectable testosterone and growth hormone for 30 years straight. And this is coming from me. That is my stance. I think that what you're doing with the ephedrine is far more dangerous. Far more dangerous. I consider ephedrine to be a higher risk drug than testosterone and most anabolic steroids and growth hormone. And I dispute anyone to provide research proving me wrong. Don't throw in a bunch of D-bol. I want to see injectable esterized steroids. So any medical doctors or medical students out there, I challenge you to prove me wrong there, because you're not going to find shit showing that they carry major health risk for the majority of people, but ephedrine you will. And I would say if you're going to use ephedrine for cutting, I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest, but I would not use it over about 6 weeks at the most. And I think the 40 milligrams, that's 20 milligrams twice a day, I think that's a pretty hefty amount. And you're going to run into a lot of issues there. Not only are you going to start having, eventually you're going to have beta receptor downregulation, so it's going to dramatically reduce the amount of fat you're burning. You're basically using a stimulant, a pretty strong stimulant at that, year round, so you're going to have issues of highs and lows on it. You're going to have problems with addictions to it, and you're going to crash from it. You're going to start having a lot of problems from it. And go research it yourself what the side effects are. Those side effects will build up over the months. You try to run it for a year straight, you're going to have heavy side effects. And it's going to stop burning body fats. And that's why you're using it, is for burning body fat, I assume. Well, when it's no longer burning body fat, then what are you going to do? And in fact, you've now downregulated beta receptors, so you're going to find it a little harder to burn body fat after you come off of it as well, but even while you're on it, because your capacity to release fatty acids from your fat tissue is going to be slightly reduced. So it is really silly. I don't know why you would use a drug like that lifelong. Let alone, I mean, I wouldn't use it for months on end, let alone lifelong. It's just silly. There's no way to mitigate it, and it's pointless. There's absolutely no benefit to you even doing it. So you're trying to mitigate the risk with no benefit. I mean, you might as well ask me, how can I mitigate the risk of cutting my left testicle off? Well, I would recommend you don't cut your left testicle off. It's not going to be beneficial to you in any way. Unless you're planning on, becoming a transgender, in which case they're going to take more than the left testicle. So I just don't see the point. It's silly. All right, next question. Jason, how do you hold weights while doing crunches? What is the best manner in which to hold them? On the stomach, behind the head? Could you reach a point where you can't hold anymore and can't progress further from increased weight alone? Yeah, this is very easy. Start with them on your chest, and when you're strong enough to easily use a 20 kilo or 45 pound plate on your chest for 20 reps, go to start doing them on your head. Now, don't do them behind the head always, because I can pull on your neck. Put them on the top of the head. Throw a beanie on if you need to. That's what I like to do. And do them that way. And you shouldn't get to a point to where you're not going to be strong enough, because for most people, by the time you can do 20 reps with a 20 kilo plate on your head or a 45 pound plate, you're probably going to have a strong enough core to squat 500 pounds. If you've got a strong enough core to squat 500 pounds, you probably have a pretty monstrous deadlift at that point. You've got a pretty good grip. So that you're that strong enough on your grip, you'll be able to pinch together a pair of plates and put them on the back of your head. And when you get to the point to where you can do 20 reps with a pair of plates up on top of your head, you probably got a strong enough core to squat 700 pounds. So you see where this is going? It's not going to be an issue for you as long as you're developing enough grip strength from doing all your deadlifting and other stuff to balance your squat strength and other things. Then you're not going to have an issue here. As you get stronger, you'll be able to grip more weight behind your head just fine, up to the point to where you are strong enough to grip a pair of plates. And again, if you can do crunches with a pair of plates on the top of your head for a decent number of reps, you have a monstrously strong core. I mean, you are ready for international powerlifting events at that point. All right, next question. Jason, could you give your opinion on knee sleeves for squatting for support, warmth, and injury prevention? You know what? I'm going to kind of quote an article I read by an expert that was submitted to the IPF that I saw up on Powerlifting Watch a few weeks ago. I don't have it handy, but I guess I could probably dig around and find it. And this is an expert saying why he thinks they need to be banned in the IPF. And the data that he quoted was that there is no research whatsoever showing that people with healthy knees, and by healthy knees meaning people who haven't been prescribed something from a doctor, will receive any reduced injury prevention from warm knees. There is no data we have ever found showing that keeping your knees warm with a wrap in any way reduces your chance of injury. And in fact, we know knee wraps increase the chance of injury. So if your sleeves are really tight, which most people's sleeves are tight or they wouldn't be wearing them, you may potentially increase your chance of injury. There is no reason whatsoever for you to keep your knees warm. If you're training in Siberia in a shed outside, wear 2 pairs of sweats. That will keep your knees warm enough. But in normal temperatures, there is zero evidence whatsoever showing that keeping your knees warm is going to reduce injuries. Now, people who already have injuries, they use those little thin sleeves that you go buy at Walmart. And if you're using anything stronger than that, it's not about support, it's about lifting more weight. And that's what this expert had pointed out, that there is zero benefit, zero data showing any injury prevention or any reason to ever use a knee sleeve for a powerlifter other than to cheat and lift more weight. And anyone who thinks that knee sleeves are not increasing their weight is full of shit. All the physics, the biomechanics, and even the anecdote looking at it shows that it is almost impossible for them not to improve your squat strength. So if you're using knee sleeves, you're using them to lift more weight because they spring you out of the bottom from the hardest part of the range of motion. The hardest part, so they make that part easier, so you're almost doing a partial. So that being said, they add strength in, and if you look at any of the knee sleeves that you're getting today, you aren't buying the cheap knee sleeves at Walmart for $5 for people who have knee injuries. All right, you guys are buying stuff from powerlifting companies like BPD, Titan, things like that. You're buying sleeves from any of those companies. Those sleeves are stiff, strong, and they're designed to store energy and explode you out of the bottom. They are basically equal to a cheaper knee wrap. Not the really good knee wraps that guys are getting up to 80 or 100 pounds out of on their squat. I'm talking the cheap knee wraps that only add 40 or 45 pounds to your squat. They're equal to those. And even my cheap $20 knee wraps, I get 20 kilos out of those. I can throw them on at any point and I can do 20 more kilos for the same number of reps. So these knee sleeves are almost the same thing. So that's the only reason to wear a knee sleeve. And I personally think knee sleeves should not be allowed in raw competition. You're not raw if you're wearing a knee sleeve. No, the only purpose of wearing a knee sleeve is to increase your max squat through mechanical leverage. There's no reason to wear them for injury prevention or keeping your knees warm or any of that. Again, if you're training in Siberia, wear 2 layers of sweatpants. You don't need the sleeves. All right, guys, so that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. But let me give you guys a bicep shot before I go.